So the DnD stream was kind of borked. And sadly, we didn't think up to this point to have backups. So episode 7's kind of fucked. So as a way to rectify that, and given the nature of D&D, we can't really redo it, we've elected to do a kind of voiced synopsis. So at least you guys have some content to listen to, even if it is significantly shorter than a 4.5 hour D&D campaign. But if you are interested in listening to the existing episode 7, it is up on the Patreon. It'll eventually be up on the YouTube. And it's 4.5 hours of me talking to myself. So if you guys want to hear me sound like a crazy person for 4 hours, that's there for you. Anyway, this is where our little story begins here. We started by picking up in the vastness of space. Our crew, our party, has just returned from their rescue attempt on the now flaming hellscape that is Mars. Their mission was luckily a success, not only for the rescue of Setsuna Miles, but also for Iris, who's acquired a new time stop ability. Once Setsuna was on the ship, Iris and Setsuna had an innovator mind meld that resulted in Setsuna revealing himself to be the Setsuna F. Seiei from the original celestial being centuries in the past. Afterwards, after a conversation with Setsuna, the party decides to continue their course to the SLF base on Earth, located in what used to be known as Azatistan. Upon landing, the crew is then greeted by Dominique Batal, current acting commander of the SLF. She questions our crew and asks them why they were here. Why Yolanda, of all people, a member of the SLF, would lead outsiders to the space. Our party explains they have refugees from episode 1 when they rescued the entire colony of Saturn and brought them to the Shoal Sands Reliquary, where they got kidnapped and then rescued by our team. And luckily, they're here now, and the SLF will be taking them as refugees. Through this questioning, though, the name Setsuna Miles came up, specifically mentioning him as someone that they rescued on the way here. This name immediately piques the interest of Dominique, who reveals to the team that this name is likely a cover-up for the real name being Setsuna F. Seiei. This Setsuna F. Seiei is a person of interest to the SLF, and the lone reason that the CFO destroyed all of Mars with a colony drop. The party then promptly relinquishes him, much to K-111's disagreement. And they're promptly, afterwards, given free reign of the entire military barracks and base, as well as a grand total of 12,000 credits each to spend on effectively anything within the base. With their newfound free time, the party decides to split up for various activities and leisure and kind of to get some various chores done, given the fact that for the last several days, this gaggle of pilots have been on effectively a non-stop roller coaster of chaos and shenanigans. Iris and Tobias start off their day by heading to the general store, later finding out that it resides within the remains of a Bed Bath & Beyond. After having some banter with the owner, the team acquires some new weaponry, some new gear, and just overall some new items. Tobias acquires a handheld shotgun to keep on his person, as well as several flash grenades, thanks to Alice's request. Iris, on the other hand, goes a little less violent by buying some hair bleach to help with the newly forming white spots in her hair due to her evolution as an innovator. Afterwards, the two head to the hangars in search of a mobile suit upgrade kiosk. Here, they find various new upgrades, attachments, weaponry, and entirely new systems and mobile suits available for purchase. Tobias, with his funds, purchased a shoulder-mounted shield for the Shinanju, while Iris gets a GN drive retrofit for her GM, fully overhauling the GM and upgrading it to be that of the GN-GM. Yolanda later arrives and receives an upgrade for her Gundam Hagenti that she has effectively taken for her own, much to the chagrin of the SLF and Dominique in particular. She installs a rocket sheath, allowing for her to propel her own sword in a drawing motion for enhanced attacking, as well as a projectile launcher, specifically of hyper bazooka shells. As the group returns from their shopping trip, Tobias runs into K-111 as he's beginning to leave on his own excursion. Tobias, going off of what's been happening the last few days, senses the insanity that will surely follow K-111. So he elects to tag along to hopefully prevent any altercations. While Tobias and Iris were at the general store, the proprietor did mention a place called Dinners, Drive-Ins, and D as some place where all the locals get their food and even some supplies. Whatever is necessary, they can typically acquire at this location. Oddly enough, K-111 decides to head in that general direction, so the two decide to check this place out. Upon finding this building, the pair is surprised to see what is effectively a pristine 50s-era diner. Upon entering, a human waitress seats them, gives them their menus, and turns the corner, not to be seen for approximately 3 hours, while the pair mull over the menu. After said 3 hours, the waitress returns, getting the two's orders, Tobias ordering something called the back door, and K-111 ordering a medium rare burger. After another long wait, Tobias has enough and attempts to leave the building, heading to the only noticeable exit door. The door is locked, and continued pushback on the door causes an electric shock, stunning Tobias slightly. Assuming that there's no way to get out through that door, he searches for others, before noticing that there are no other doors in this building. No backroom doors, no restroom, no kitchen, no trap doors, no discernible doors anywhere in this building, actually. More distraught than curious, Tobias returns to his seat, and after about 30 minutes, the waitress, now donning full animalistic garb, having now replaced her skin with a fur-like texture, a face with a snout, long, droopy ears, bushy tail. She returns with the pair's food. Setting down in front of K111 is a very normal-looking cheeseburger. In front of Tobias is Norbit's favorite speciality, turkey ass. After finishing their meal, the pair quickly exit the building and go their separate ways. Sadly, Tobias is noticeably uncomfortable. K111, however, is yearning for combat, and he decides to head to the mobile suit training area. Upon his arrival, he quickly encounters several training military personnel and picks out a tall, muscular, imposing, purple-haired woman that goes by the name Paulette Lenta. After a short fist fight, Paulette asks K111 to try his luck with a new prototype mobile suit that they're here testing, the Gundam frame. Using a newly found technology called Permit, K111 is able to wirelessly interface and control this new mobile suit, similar to how when he connects to an Alea Vignana system. While connected to this permit system, Paulette pushes K111 to push the system harder, to test his own limits in this system as far as he can go. Even through trials and tribulations, even spouting blood from his very eyes, he presses on, hoping to reach some sort of light at the end of the tunnel to where he gains full control over the suit. And as he's hitting that precipice, an explosion rings out from that field. Across the base, emergency personnel are scrambled to head to this location, and our party, seeing as though they all had a pretty decent idea where K11 was, rushed to the scene as well. Once at the scene, all that can be seen is a large crater where it seems an explosion or weapon was discharged. A Gundam frame mobile suit lying lifelessly on the ground, as well as Paulette emerging from the cockpit with the lifeless body of K111, seemingly killed in whatever caused the blast. With Yolanda and the medical team's help, K111's body is wheeled away towards the military hospital on base, while Iris decides to investigate the Gundam frame. Once inside the cockpit, her innovator powers react, telling her that something is very wrong with this mobile suit. She then begins hearing whispers, while the mobile suit begins emitting trace lights around the cockpit. Odd sounds emit from seemingly unknown areas of the cockpit. Piecing together the bits and pieces she's able to comprehend, someone or something is trapped in this mobile suit. So to get a better look, Iris decides to fully power up the mobile suit and get it at least standing on its two feet. As soon as Iris activates the mobile suit, K111 wakes up in a grassy field of endless grass, flowers, and a clear blue sky. Nothing can be seen for miles except for a lone small hill with a large green oak at the top. Seeing nothing else on the horizon, K111 makes his way to this tree, hoping to maybe find something from atop the hill. But a force stops him. Through a combination of physical strength, sheer willpower, and mental fortitude, he pushes through wall after wall after wall eventually forcing his way to this tree. Making contact with the trunk, K111 wakes up in the fields before this crater. Looking down, he realizes that he is not in his own fleshy body. For what he really is he has somehow become Gundam. He has become the Gundam frame. His consciousness resides within this mobile suit. Attempting to find out how this happened, K111, Iris, and Yolanda meet up in front of the hospital. K111 barely hobbling his newfound mobile suit body on the way there. Once meeting up with Yolanda, they hoist K111's seemingly dead body into the cockpit of the Gundam, only for him to wake him in his human body to wake up. However, after several trials and failures, it seems that they can't get K111's personality to stick until Iris, using her innovator abilities, is able to force and extract K111's consciousness from the mobile suit and return it to his human body, as far as she can tell. K111 is now able to successfully leave the mobile suit in his own human form, and seemingly is fully deconnected from the Gundam frame. Seeing as the issue seems to have been resolved, Yolanda and Iris head to the headquarters of the SLF on this base to write the reports and to report to one Dominique Batal. K111, however, decides to have a conversation with Paulette, in which Paulette sees something within him and invites him out for drinks. The two head back to the local bar, but as K111 turns to leave, the Gundam frame is seen twitching, almost as if trying to follow in that same direction. And that there is where our episode this week ended. It was a relatively chill session. Next session will be on, of course, May 20th for Patreon. June 3rd for everyone else. Again, I apologize for any issues that this, of course, brought and anything, but I do feel like, at least this is a nice substitute. You guys at least get the gist of the story kind of unfolding. So, we will reconvene on the 20th, me and my party. And we will continue telling you guys this spinning this wonderful tale for you all. So until the next time, I have been your DM,